Yes, my people, welcome back to another portfolio update video. And in today's video, we're going to be going through an update on the performance of my stock market investments. In my last portfolio update video, which I recorded roughly around 2 weeks ago, I had about £96,600 invested across Vanguard, InvestEngine and Trading212. So in this video, we're going to see how that figure has changed since my last update. But before we get into all of that, I was looking at my YouTube stats the other day and I realized about 70% of you aren't actually subscribed to the channel. So please, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel and you do enjoy these videos of me talking about my personal journey in the stock market, please do subscribe because it really does help me out and of course allows me to make better content for you guys. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Monty and I document my stock market portfolio. Now, I currently use 3 different investing platforms to hold my stock market wealth, that being Vanguard, InvestEngine and Trading212. And in these videos, I walk through my entire portfolio across these 3 accounts and provide an update on how the performance of these accounts are doing. So as always, let's kick things off with Vanguard. I'm gonna log into Vanguard and let's see how the portfolio is doing. Okay, so I've just logged into Vanguard and as you can see, as of the 19th of August 2025, I currently have £86,676.22 sitting in my Vanguard account. If we scroll down ever so slightly, you can see in terms of the amount of contributions that I've put into the account itself, I've contributed £66,737.44. And as a result of investing that money, I've gained an investment return of £19,937.78, which takes my total rate of return to now sit at 45.85%. Now, just a quick disclaimer, this rate of return is a time-weighted rate of return. The calculation itself is quite complex and I actually don't use this rate of return or this time-weighted rate of return as a measurement of how good or how bad my portfolio is doing. So I just technically discard that rate of return. What I do is I just divide my gain by the total amount of contributions that I've put into the portfolio itself. So in this case, it's a case of dividing £19,937.78 by my total amount of contributions, which for me is £66,737.44. Now, I'm not a super genius, so I'm not gonna sit and calculate that off the top of my head right now, but I will put what that calculation is on the screen somewhere. And it's these 2 numbers added together that give me my total portfolio balance of £86,675.22. Now let's head over to the month tab and let's see how the portfolio has performed since the beginning of the month. So here's my data since the 1st of August 2025. As you can see, we're off to a slight loss this month so far. So my personal investment return so far this month is sitting at a negative £166.88. So put very simply, what this means is since the 1st of August 2025, my portfolio balance has dropped by that amount. And this now takes my total cumulative return since I opened this Vanguard account to £19,937.78. So this is essentially a running total of all the money my portfolio has made me ever since I started this account. On a separate note, if you have a sharp eye, then you can see that this month I was charged fees and that fee came to £29.25. So just a quick explanation of what this fee is. Vanguard isn't like these commission-free investing platforms like Trading212 and InvestEngine. With Vanguard, you actually have to pay an account management fee of 0.15%. And that 0.15% is taken out on a quarterly basis. So it just so happened to be that in August, I was charged that quarterly fee. Now, a lot of people say to me, Monty, why do you continue using Vanguard when there are other alternatives out there that are commission-free, i.e. Trading212 and InvestEngine? And for me, it's not really all about the cost. So yes, there is an account management fee of 0.15%, but I think in terms of what you pay for and what you get out of the Vanguard platform, it's well worth the investment or it's well worth the fee. Vanguard's customer service is exceptional. I can ring them at any point in the day and I'm able to speak to a live agent. And that's not the case with a lot of these other platforms. So that's just something to take into consideration when you're deciding which is the right platform for you to use to invest. There are other factors that you should definitely take into consideration. But yeah, I just love Vanguard, and I'll never take this money out and move it over to Trading212 and InvestEngine. I do use Trading212 and InvestEngine, and of course we'll go on to those accounts in a moment. But in terms of the money that I have in Vanguard, I'm happy to keep this money here and just let it grow over time. Anyway, that wraps up the Vanguard side of things. So just to confirm, I have £86,676.22 sitting in Vanguard. Now let's head over to InvestEngine and let's see how things are looking over at InvestEngine. Right, so here we are. I've just logged into my InvestEngine stock and shares ISA, and I currently have £10,518.08 sitting in my account. My total investment return in this account has now risen to £1,168.08, which works out to be a percentage gain of 16.13%, which is pretty much near an all-time high for this specific account. As you can see, my all-time high for this account was £10,587.88. So we're near enough all-time highs. Scrolling down, you can see the actual holdings or allocations in this account. I currently have £5,618.50 with FWRG. This is an ETF, a global tracking ETF. I then have £3,428.23 invested in VUAG, which is an S&P 500 tracking ETF. And then last but not least, I have £1,471.32 invested in XNAQ, which is a Nasdaq 100 ETF. So overall, things are looking really, really good for my InvestEngine account. For those who are actually new to the channel, I don't actively contribute to this stock and shares ISA account anymore. For this tax year, I'm using a combination of Vanguard and Trading212. So let's head over to Trading212 and let's see what's happening over there. Okay, so I've just opened up the Trading212 app and I've logged into my stock and shares ISA. And as you can see, I currently have £533.73 invested in my Trading212 stock and shares ISA account. My total return is now sitting at £35.73, which equates to be a rate of return of 24.5%. Now, as I just mentioned when I was giving my update on the InvestEngine account, Trading212 is one of the ISA accounts that I've decided to use for this tax year. And so far this tax year, I've only deposited £398 into this Trading212 account. Obviously with ISAs, you're given an annual ISA allowance of £20,000, which means you can deposit up to £20,000 across all of your ISAs in one given tax year. But I've only contributed £398 so far this tax year. And the reason for that, I think I mentioned this in my previous video, but I've just bought an apartment in Dubai, which of course has been a very, very, very expensive purchase. So I haven't been able to invest quite as much as I would like to, but I'm really hoping over the next few months, I'll be able to start investing slightly more and of course growing the account. Now, in terms of what this account is invested in, very, very similar to my InvestEngine stock and shares ISA account. So I only hold 3 funds, 3 ETFs. The first one is FWRG, so that's the Invesco FTSE All World. I currently have £195.40 with this fund. The second fund is VUAG, which is a S&P 500 tracking ETF. I currently have £132.08 in this fund. And then lastly, I have £127.35 with the X-Trackers Nasdaq 100. Now, I've just set up a pie and I will be talking about this pie slightly more in future videos. But as it stands right now, I currently have £78.90 invested in this pie. And like I said, I will talk more about this pie in an upcoming video and what this means for my portfolio. So that wraps up my Trading212 stock and shares ISA update. Now let's add all of these figures together and let's see what my portfolio balance is currently sitting at as of the 19th of August. Okay, so starting with Vanguard, we had £86,676.22. In InvestEngine, we had £10,518.08. And in Trading212, we had £533.73, which gives me a final total portfolio balance of £97,728.03. I can feel it, 100K is literally right around the corner. So assuming there's no market crash over the next 2 months, I really do think within the next 8 weeks, I definitely will hit that £100,000 mark. If we see some slight upward momentum in the stock market on top of the contributions that I plan to make over the next 8 weeks, I really do think that I'm gonna hit £100,000. So you need to make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because the day I hit that £100,000, you guys are gonna be the first to know. Yeah, I really do appreciate everyone that subscribes and supports the channel. Please, if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, leave a comment. Yeah, I'll catch you back here again shortly for another portfolio update video. Peace out.